Hi folks, in this video I would like to review with you the writer's checklist for text-dependent analysis prompt. This is obviously through the PSSA people. If we take a look at this checklist while we're writing and after we're writing, we're going to find that it will kind of carry us through all of the big grading criteria of writing an essay. So it's a way to help us kind of calm down, reassess, make sure we've got everything there. So they organize it in 3 different areas: planning before we write, focusing while we write, and then proofreading after we've written. So they've got a couple of things here that are really important. They're telling you to read that prompt carefully. Remember, we're always looking for that second part of the prompt. It would be something along the lines of write an essay analyzing blank, or write an essay about blank. So they'll tell us kind of exactly what we need to be writing about. We want to make sure we are answering that question. Think about how the prompt relates to the passage. Organize your ideas on scratch paper. What I would suggest for the pre-writing would be I would develop my thesis, because with your thesis, you're going to have your answer. And if you have 1 to 4, different points, which would then become your different paragraphs, they're going to be listed in your thesis. So if you can develop your thesis ahead of time, you already know where all of your body paragraphs are headed. And then what I would go do is I would highlight within the text the evidence that I want to use. So I go back within the text and I'd say, okay, so for each one of my paragraphs, what do I want to point to as my proof? I would go and I would find that as well. If you do that, it's really simple. It's not a whole lot of pre-writing, but you're going to have your essay kind of mapped out in your mind. Some important things they mentioned in the focus section is make sure you're using evidence from the passage. You want to use a direct quote whenever necessary. Precise language, variety of sentence, and transitions. This is really going to get your essay to a more sophisticated level. And then we want to make sure we've got an intro, body, and conclusion for organization purposes. In the proofreading section, you want to go back through at the very least and reread your essay once you've written it. You're going to catch some little mistakes that you can, kind of just straighten up very quickly. But then we want to see, are you staying focused? You want to make sure you're not going off on any tangents. Did you use evidence? That's really, really important. And then see if you can find any of those smaller errors you might have made. So if we're going through and using this checklist, we're taking care of the grading criteria that deals with organization, evidence, the different sentence structures, the grammar and mechanics. It's really kind of bringing our attention to a lot of the different points that they will use in order to grade you. So always, always, always come back to this writer's checklist. Just give it a look over. It might jog something in your memory and give you a reason to go back in and revise a little bit.